good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the Rookie Run, a video game podcast that pairs a rookie discovering a game for the first time with a veteran returning to see how it all holds up. Together, we explore, reflect, and unpack what makes each game a new adventure, discover new favourites, and reignite love for old classics, also clearing out that ever-growing backlog. I'm your host, Louis. I go by the handle Lubop, and today, I'm the veteran. Joining me today, Flesh Eater, Sasquatch Hunter, producer, photographer, Cosmo, produced by Cos. How we doing, bro?
Brains. Doing great. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm alright, man. I'm pretty good.
A lot of fun with
excited
this one.
to talk about this. Yeah, man. It's a fun one.
Yeah, it was great fun. A lot to say.
Yeah, a lot to say for a short game as well.
Yeah, it wasn't too short. It wasn't too long. I made sure I did as much as I could. So hopefully...
Yeah.
We're good to speak about everything.
Yeah, I didn't do everything this playthrough. Obviously, I played it before, so I'm aware of everything. So I think I finished it in about 6 hours.
Yeah, I was around about that mark, maybe 10 after doing all of the sort of finishing up challenges and things.
So today, we're talking about the only single-player narrative DLC for Red Dead Redemption, and the last single-player DLC that Rockstar released for any of their games, Red Dead Redemption, Undead Nightmare. Undead Nightmare was released in 2010, developed by Rockstar San Diego, and published by Rockstar Games. It adds a horror-themed single-player campaign and 2 multiplayer modes, as well as some cosmetic additions to the environments and characters. It's set in a non-canonical timeline that follows the main protagonist of Red Dead Redemption 1, John Marston, setting out to find the cause of a zombie outbreak, as well as looking for the cure due to the infection of his wife and son. Undead Nightmare received favourable reviews at the time, and I know it's looked back on fondly, and the retail disc sold 2 million copies by 2011. So, before playing this, what did you know about Undead Nightmare? What's your history with kind of Red Dead, and maybe the reasons that you hadn't played Undead Nightmare?
Yeah, Red Dead Undead Nightmare was a pretty big release when I was younger. It came out right as I was finishing Red Dead 1, and I loved that game. I played it to death, I played the online, I did every challenge, and I think by the time I'd got to, playing the DLC, I was just so burnt out I never did it, like straight up. So when you were suggesting it, I just thought, great, what an excellent opportunity for me to play it. And I'm glad I finally did. I wish I'd played it back then. I wish I had the Steam to play it back then, but it was still fun now.
Yeah, I think it came out like a couple days or a week before Halloween, the same year that the main game released. I think it was something like 5 months. So it's it's not that much time, and if you didn't play Red Dead on release, I can see why you maybe burnt out on it.
Yeah, super burnt out. By the time it was like 9 months later, I'd played it to death. I must have had like 400 hours on that game. Yeah,
for sure, man. I loved the first one as well. 2010, I wasn't very old, and it wasn't my first Rockstar game that I'd played, but it was it would have been the second Rockstar game I owned after Bully.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say GTA 4. Was that later?
It didn't come out later, but I came to it later because I wasn't allowed Grand Theft Auto as a kid.
Oh, of course. It is a pretty severe game. I mean, Red Dead's not that non-severe. It's just maybe not as transferable cultures.
Yeah, for sure. When saying to my mum in the shop, like, she knows about Grand Theft Auto. It was in the news as a kid, and it was like one of those moral panic games. But I could just say like, oh, look, it's this cowboy game. It goes down a bit better. I don't remember how I actually got the game, like who bought it for me, but I loved it. I played the single player. I played quite a lot, but as a kid, I just loved the multiplayer. Even though there wasn't that much to do, just messing about with my friends and messing about with like the physics that are in the engine.
Absolutely,
I did that for so long.
I wish my soul still had that level of play in it to enjoy a multiplayer game like that. Just messing around for hours, trying to push the limits.
We kind of fall into like, I need a mission, I need something to unlock, I need something to do. The one thing you could unlock in the multiplayer that I remember is like you could You could play as the different characters from throughout the main game, and also like Red Dead Revolver.
Oh, right, okay.
My character that I always played as was Landon Ricketts, who obviously comes into this game a bit later on. But I don't know why. I don't know why like 10, 11-year-old me thought Landon Ricketts was the guy.
What a great character.
Yeah, it's cool.
I really liked him in Red Dead. He was really cool.
Yeah, it's cool. He's cool in this as well. My intro to Undead Nightmare was... I don't remember if I picked up Red Dead at the time of release or if I came to it after, and then I don't remember if I had the double disc edition or if I had Undead Nightmare as a downloadable copy or I had it separate. I don't think I had it separate because I don't remember having like a Undead Nightmare case, and I don't remember having the map, and I always wanted the map because it has cool art on the back.
It's interesting that they did it as a standalone. They released it as like a separate good in its own box. Which is, it makes sense in a way, but also doesn't, now that I've played it. We'll go into that.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I would have played it around the time it released, and played through the single-player campaign of Undead Nightmare at least once, maybe twice, and then again played quite a bit of the multiplayer, which is obviously something that you've not got to do. I mean, it wasn't anything special, but... Again, 10-year-old me on Red Dead, I loved it.
What was the premise of the multiplayer? Was it similar to the general online multiplayer of the main game?
No, it was 2 game modes. So the first game mode was like I can't remember the names. I've got them written down somewhere. But no, the game modes were one was a wave defense mode.
Cool.
Akin to, all the zombies games that were coming out at the time, they had their wave defense mode. But you could, pick up all the different weapons, and some of the maps were kind of weird because they were just areas that were in the open world, but the boundaries on some of them were a bit weird. So I remember on one of them, it's a graveyard that you clear out later in the game in Mexico. There's like a ridge, like a mountain ridge by it, and you could like get onto the edge of this ridge by kind of like forcing your way up there.
Okay.
So I just remember like sporadic memories of doing stuff like that.
Oh, and then you're like safe up there. And you can cheese the waves or something.
It wasn't like completely cheese, but it was almost like on like Doris, the COD Zombies map. Everybody sat on the catwalk, right? Because it was the zombies come from one direction. Yeah, it was kind of just like that. So. Okay. And then the other mode was, it was an event in the main online that people that had Undead Nightmare could start, and then everyone else could join. And it was like a sort of like a land grab.
Oh, that sounds great.
Mode. Yeah, it would have been cool if you could do like the full free roam with the zombies. For some reason, I had it in my head whilst I was playing the single player game that was a thing, and have like this Mandela effect of like, oh, I can remember running down in the open world with zombies. But then when I like watched videos back, it doesn't exist. So I don't know if it was potentially part of that open world event that you could start that I was thinking of. Or...
Strange.
But yeah, fun memories of the game. It's always been something I've spoken about as like one of the best DLCs of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Obviously always longed for a sequel, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, good luck.
And I was glad to play it again. I thought it was a good one. It's nice and short, but there's a lot of cool stuff to talk about.
Yeah. I'm glad that you have fond memories of it.
And then obviously for the replay, I played this on the PC release, which came out 14 years after the initial release in 2024. It's a re-release. I think it has some upscaling, some better textures, but it's not a remaster. They're not adding loads to the game, but it was nice to be able to play it at, whatever few hundred frames per second it was getting.
Yeah.
Nice, like modern monitor, high resolution.
Yeah.
It was cool.
It was nice to play at high res and stuff. At first it was very glaring, it put a bit of jarring to me. I was like, oh, Jesus. But over a few minutes I remembered, it's okay. This is a game that came out over a decade ago. But performed well, ran smooth.
The first thing that always has sat in my head with this, with like the graphic style and the presentation, I've always loved, is the font style and the color palettes that they went for in like all the text and the promo materials and the map. That like yellowy green, like bile color.
Yeah, it's cool. And obviously in the main game it was similar, but just very cowboy. But they really stuck with that.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I just really liked the yellowy orange green sort of colors from it, and like the map is a changed color. The water's red and the landscapes are kind of greeny.
I think it definitely speaks to the importance of a UI being like cohesive with the game. It should all fit. Yeah,
and stylized and
all of it.
Of course, it all should all fit. And Rockstar have always been pretty good at that. With GTA, they do it as well. And like, you know, they had some great ideas with GTA that they carried on, like the phone.
Their systems are completely unintuitive. I'm not gonna lie. The UI in this game is as bad as any Rockstar game, in my opinion.
At least it looks
so
cool.
Annoying. The amount of times I deleted my horse by accidentally trying to open the map and hitting my war horse deed and summon my main horse, and I'd have to like spend a minute breaking like the horse I just had and like running to a town and hitching it. So annoying.
Yeah, I mean, and that can be said for the GTA games with the phone as well. It's stylized, but I mean, I got pretty good at it. I played a lot of GTA 5 online, so I got pretty good at like skipping through all the apps on the phone to get to my mechanic to reorder a car and stuff.
I'm a lot older than you know? I struggle with these things in real life. I have to type with one finger and things like that. But yeah, like the map especially, I really love the stylization of the map. I thought it was like, there was an amount of exploration in the map too. Like sometimes you'd find treasure maps, or people would say things to where to go on a quest, and it wasn't always that clear because the map isn't that clear. But I didn't find that frustrating. I found it like part of the stylization. I was like, oh yeah, I'm a cowboy trying to read like a map. Of course it's not like that easy or that simple, but then it's quite intuitive. There's these little drawings on it and things are named a specific way, and if you're paying actual attention, you can hear people tell you where to go. It's just not like always written down for you afterwards. And I actually found that really fun, because at the end of the day, it's always going to give you a quest marker. But in between, me and the quest marker was like that feature, and I thought that was really cool. I really liked how it tied in, and I still found a lot of value in that in the map, even with the quest markers.
Yeah, that is something cool, and it's something you don't see loads in games where there's potentially things to look for that aren't on a quest marker. And a game that I want to play that came out on the maybe back end to mid last year is I believe it's called Hell Is Us.
Okay.
And it doesn't do quest markers and stuff like that. It's a find your own way. Someone will say, there's a quest over this hill, you'll see a big tower, and that's where you need to go. And you'll get on that hill and you'll see the big tower and you go there. I don't know how good the game's meant to be, but I know that that's like a big part of it.
Yeah, okay. Sounds sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing I noticed with this game, but you kind of notice it with all Rockstar games, I think it dropped off a little bit with 5, and it's probably this period more so with GTA 4, the DLCs for that, and Red Dead, is on their promo materials and the loading screens and the box art, that like hand-drawn kind of style they did.
Yeah.
I know they did it with 5, but it didn't look as drawn as it did
pulp sort of style, very comic book.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Movie poster sort of style.
Yeah, they did it with Bully as well. And like, it's so cool. I remember being a kid, and again, when I was a kid, it was, kind of GTA and the Rockstar games had this kind of like, maybe a bit of a taboo around them, but they always had such cool art, seeing the billboards.
Yeah, it was always a vibe.
And, they went so hard on the promo, and this game kept it too. Like, one of them is the one of the nuns holding the double barrel shotgun. Yeah, in the loading screen. It's just cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and that's really what cool. the on the back of the map that I said, the physical map, it has the female zombie as like a poster.
Oh, okay, and obviously you remember that very fondly for.
Yeah, I remember wanting it.
No particular reasons. Oh, you wanted the zombie woman.
It's not quite that. I didn't develop those kind of feelings until quite recently about the zombie women. But,
okay.
Understandable. I remember that being super cool. And it's something that, Rockstar always smashed, in my opinion, and it always stuck around. I know I keep saying about GTA 4, but so much with that, just the art of the characters in that kind of drawn style.
I wonder if they've lost some of their identity along the way. Well, people have got to change, I guess. That's a different conversation, perhaps. What did you think about the graphics? Holding up just overall, like the texture quality and everything?
Yeah, you got to remember it came out, 16 years ago now. And then, playing it at 1440p, on a nice monitor on a PC, I thought it looked good. Like, I think it does look good.
I wrote in my notes, graphics are ass.
But do you think that's like, obviously you played Red Dead back in the day. Do you think that is a testament to like,
honestly,
it is ass, or you think it's like looking back on it, it's...
Back in the day, I obviously thought it looked great. Like in the day, it probably looked pretty fantastic. And I think I thought that. But playing it now, I was like, really? What the hell was I thinking? Like, it was obviously a game of the time, but there were games at that time too that were achieving pretty significant things. And then I thought to myself, maybe it's because it's the PC port. So I watched some footage from like the old Xbox, and it was more to do with the PC port that I was playing. I'm not sure everything was working amazingly, but like the volumetric effects and the use of lighting and stuff, like it's not incredible. It didn't blow me away.
Fair
also,
enough.
it looked pretty good. I thought it looked alright. It does what it needs to. And in the places where it counts, like during the action, it really makes, it really does okay. Like the fire effects are pretty good, and the muzzle and the smoke and everything. It all looks pretty good. The blood splatters.
Yeah, I wonder if I've got a bit of nostalgia goggles for the way it looks. But I thought, looking at it, I thought in general, the character textures look decent, and some of the zombie designs. I thought some of the animal designs were a bit lazy.
Oh, in terms of design, yeah. I'm more talking about the general texture quality and the volumetric effects.
Yeah.
And
I thought it sits around the same sort of quality as like, GTA 4 did. Maybe a little bit worse because it hasn't got as much going on with the lighting and stuff. I think GTA 4 did a good job with kind of having the way the light is in the city and that kind of more industrial look. Obviously, it's hard to make big deserts look good, and I know they achieved it with Red Dead 2, but that came out a long way after.
The contrast between this and Red Dead 2 makes Red Dead 2 look so incredible. It really does. But they both are. Yeah, I'm not trying to shit on it for no reason. One thing I will give it a lot of credit for is the animation. It's got that classic, Rockstar quality of animation to it. I thoroughly enjoyed most of the cutscenes and everything that I was seeing for that. The only thing I would say is that I'm not sure they had a very good director or DOP.
Okay, what makes you say that?
I just think in a lot of the cutscenes I found myself just like, come on, like hurry up, like fucking spit it out. Like there's too much pausing, there's like not enough like audio, like dialogue editing to make things fluid. A lot of the camera angles like go between these weird like shaky like hand cam sort of styles to like these pretty inspired like nice long like sweeps and things like that capture the whole scene, and it's just like this mishmash of like amateurism across the board, and it just found it really frustrating amidst like the quality of the models and the acting and the animation.
Do you think they were attempting to do something with that? Obviously you haven't played the main game for a while, but do you remember, like, do you think this is something that was an issue in Undead Nightmare itself and not the main game? And are they potentially trying to do something there?
I think Undead Nightmare didn't have enough of development time to give what the main game had, but it was basically there. In a sense, like, the main game had similar issues with, like, pacing through dialogue and the way that it was edited, but the main game has so much more features, especially in the cutscenes that were written, or like there was more cinematic set pieces and stuff in the scenes rather than just like conversations in like a back alley, which was what it was more like in Undead Nightmare. But it was really good for the most part, and when there were set pieces, a lot of the animation and a lot of the storytelling and that was quite fluid and well done and quite dramatic and cinematic. I'm just not sure it had like the polish that it was promising, because it kind of sets itself up thematically as this sort of like, you know, trash pulp like zombie flick from the 70s or like the early 80s, you know, like you know, Night of the Living Dead or something. But then it just kind of does its best to sort of get through the sort of story setup instead of being actually cinematic about it. So
I get that. I think it started off strong and kind of faded away, but we can get into that with like the story kind of discussion and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. That for me was more on like a cinematography sort of level, like the camera work and the dialogue editing. You should have your cuts so that you don't have fucking 2-second pauses between everyone's sentence. Like, they are having a conversation. They're not like fucking. They're not saying. There's not a pantomime.
Yeah, maybe it has a bit of an uncanny sort of.
It's yucky.
Outside of like the kind of, you know, the graphics, that it kind of just sits with, you know, Red Dead, and you could speak about the main game graphics. Outside of that and the difference between the main game and Undead Nightmare, there may be, you know, they did some bits. They had some graffiti on some buildings. There's more fire. There's a bit of a dark fog, and when you liberate towns, the sun then comes out. But outside of that, for the actual kind of world itself, they maybe could have pushed it a little bit further. Maybe have some more abandoned buildings. I even thought of just like silly stuff, like obviously on the map the water is red. Like, turn the water red. The water's full of blood. I noticed the moon was nice and big.
That's cool. Yeah, and that fits into the story.
Sometimes if you were to just get screenshots side by side of the main game and Undead Nightmare, you might notice it's a little bit darker, or there's sometimes some mist. But if you've liberated the town, you could probably get shots where it looks the same. You gotta remember, it was a cheap DLC. It's a small, you know, addition.
Well, it was the standalone like flagship DLC of the development cycle. Like, they touted it on release as like, this is gonna be like the big DLC at the end of our like development for this game. Because they had a few other like releases for multiplayer and different cosmetics and stuff. So they should have been producing it like, you know, a year before they released Red Dead, but I think they basically started when they released
I don't
Red Dead.
actually know how long it took them to produce it, but yeah, little things like that could have been cool. Turning the water red.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. That's really cool. They could even have a mission that like explains why it is, you know, like all these guys are just like freaking dying, dude. They're bleeding in the water.
But looking back when I was younger, I don't remember having massive feelings about the way Undead Nightmare looked to the main game. I remember thinking Red Dead looked like a good game back at the time. I remember having conversations with my dad. He wasn't really much of a gamer, but I remember him seeing me play Red Dead and him being like interested in it because it's a Western. And obviously every generation does it, like, oh, it's getting like real life. It doesn't look like real life, but everyone says it, you know. I don't think that's much of a thing anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
We've hit that bit of graphics where you see games like Kingdom Come Deliverance and you're like, there's no point in making that comment anymore because it really does.
But real shit, back in the day, if somebody had said that about Red Dead Undead Nightmare, I probably would have agreed. Because back then, I'd never seen anything like it. So I'm shitting on it now, but 100%. Yeah, back then I was loving life. I thought GTA 4 was like the pinnacle. I thought that was like the best it was going to get.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I remember feeling the same. You know, every generation, and it kind of sat with console generations, didn't it? Where you'd get the big graphical leaps. It's never going to get much better than this. Crysis 3, oh my goodness, it's never going to get this good again. And it does.
Yeah,
I feel like, well, now we've got, like I said, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I don't think it gets much better than that, to be honest.
We'll see it.
In terms
GTA
of
6,
photorealism.
We'll have something. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Outside of the kind of general graphics, I know I mentioned models earlier. I thought the zombie models were very cool. Don't look at them too closely. Yeah. Obviously, they're lower texture. It's an old game, but they do look cool. They take some of the models from the main game and obviously turn them into zombies.
Yeah, they turn them into zombies. So you see familiar faces. It's cool. I really liked it.
I thought maybe some of the variation could have presented more in, like, when you go on to Mexico. There's a couple zombies that are like themed for the area, but as well you're kind of seeing the same ones. It would have been cool to maybe see some more.
I guess it's a tough one. I'm guessing that's why that they were low res as well, so they could load a lot of them at once.
Yeah.
And have it not like suddenly tank your PC to be facing 30 zombies.
And that's something I've got written in the gameplay section. I thought it was pretty impressive, some of the zombie density that they got in certain areas.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree. It's a shame that they couldn't do more with it, but I guess they just did pretty well with it anyway, because there were times when I was playing it, I was like, oh, holy shit, like I'm going to have to use my whole arsenal here to save myself.
Yeah.
Which was great. Loved that. Anyway, we'll get to that.
Yeah, I'm sure they had some engine limitations. And then, like I mentioned, the kind of animal textures. The design's kind of cool. Some of them, it's just, they've just got the animal and flash blood on it.
Yeah. But that's fine. They're zombies now. And that's what zombies look like.
Yeah. And then
cut them a break in some ways.
The horses, without being too spoilery, there's some cool horses in it, and some of them look pretty cool.
There is some cool horses. You see a lot of, when you're running around in the main game, you'd see, these little groups of wild horses, and obviously you can go and throw a rope and get one.
Yeah.
But I'd always see these like undead horses running around. They were just like skeletal and rotten. I swear a couple of times as well, when I lost my horse, I'd call for a horse and I'd just get one of them.
Oh, maybe.
It would just be like, oh, you found an undead one, and it would just come to me.
Yeah, I can't remember if in the main game it was a feature where, like, if your horse died or something and you just called a horse, you'd get just like a, can't remember what it was called. The horses had names in the multiplayer, and it was basically just like the worst type of horse.
Every horse has a name, man, unless it's wild. Come on.
Yeah, no, it was like kind of like almost like a breed. Because I remember, I don't know if I'm like imagining this, but in the multiplayer you could get all different horses. Could you get a zebra?
I don't know. Maybe that was one of the later release things. A zebra? I don't know. Could you get a giraffe? What else could you have?
You could get a zebra donkey.
Oh yeah. Oh, you get donkey?
Yeah, there was all different types of breed. I'm looking at it
donkeys
now. The zebra donkey was the second fastest mount that you could unlock.
That's fucking awesome.
So it was one of the legendary mounts. Anyway,
so cool.
Yeah, the undead zombies, they look cool, and then the undead horses look cool.
They do look good. I think they use the environments really well. Like you said earlier with the graffiti and stuff, it wasn't an amazing amount of transformation, but it was enough for me to completely accept and understand sort of what was happening.
Especially in Blackwater at the start.
Yeah, and it set the story, the way it tells itself, it does set up so that when you go to a new location, you expect it to be fucked up. And, after the third or fourth one, the game acknowledges it. It's like, oh, well, fuck, I guess we're fucked. Like, well, let's go and help the world. So it's never that jarring to see everything just kind of like shitted up.
Yeah, I just thought they could have just done a little bit more to make it look a bit more apocalyptic. Like I said, maybe some more of the buildings destroyed, or maybe like bodies in the streets, or I don't know. Like I said, the water being red.
I guess that wouldn't make no sense though, because they'll just get up as a zombie.
Oh, this is true.
Unless they're like dead zombies.
They're dead zombies. Yeah. I don't know. I just felt like at times you could feel like you were in just the base game.
If they'd had another year for this shit, it would have been like twice the game, 100%. But it just doesn't looks like they didn't. Unfortunately. Yeah. I think with any missing link that we point out, it's going to be that answer for this game, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you got to cut them slack.
I cut them big slack. It was still fun as hell.
Yeah, and it's going to be something I bring up a lot, and I'm going to rant about later. Why is there no sequel?
I'm 90% ranting, so that's fine with me.
Where is the sequel? Imagine the things they could have done. Anyway, we'll get onto that. Anything else to say about the graphics? I don't think there's loads to say, because otherwise you're discussing the main game.
Yeah, overall, kind of doesn't look the best anymore, but it does everything it needs to kind of make it work.
Yeah.
Plus some good shit.
Enough to throw the vibes around. And yeah, the classic things that Rockstar were nailing in this time period, the promo materials, the colours, all that sort of just making it feel cool. I don't know, Rockstar just had this cool for me. Maybe it was because I was 10. But that was all nailed.
I'm with you.
for sure.
For me, it was Vice City when I was 10. So
Yeah, I remember seeing Vice City younger, and no, not Vice City, San Andreas when I was younger with a family friend, and the dad would have San Andreas on his computer, and I was like, yeah, this is way before the first Rockstar game I was aware
on
of.
Computer.
He had
So cool.
He had San Andreas on the PC, and I remember I'd be allowed to just like drive around here and there, but my parents wouldn't let me really play the game properly until I was a bit older. Yeah, cool stuff, Rockstar. I hope they keep it up with GTA 6. From what I've seen in the program materials, doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like they're sticking with that kind of drawn aesthetic. It looks like they're going for the more picture-looking ones. GTA 5 had it. The loading screens, they looked a little bit more like a graphic developed instead of hand-drawn.
Yes, I'll have to say.
One thing I want to say that I didn't think about it until I finished the game, but I made a note of it at the start of the game. It starts with a narrator. The narrator's cool. It
cool.
Never comes back.
He's very cool. He's very funny. Kind of set the scene, and then he never comes back.
It doesn't come back. Like, I don't know if I'm missing a little bit, like where it did come back.
I've got something big to say about this, but it's a big spoiler.
Okay.
Thing.
But am I right in saying it just doesn't come back for the whole game?
It doesn't come back at all for the whole game. Not even for the credits or anything like that.
No.
There's no roll again.
Yeah, because it does the like, ooh, on a dark night. And it's just like, it's funny and it introduces the game and it fits with the kind of, Undead Nightmare has this kind of vibe of like a light sort of horror movie that maybe, you know, from
it's like
an older time period.
That trash fucking zombie flick sort of stuff.
Yeah, it has that. And that helped it, and it never comes back. So
that, like Treehouse of Horrors, like Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors, sort of.
Yeah. Yeah, it never comes back.
Yeah, never comes back again.
But the other voice acting is good.
I'd say pretty much all the voice acting in the game for me was like stellar to very much like a master show. Standouts
are obviously John. One of like the most iconic voices in gaming, in my opinion. I don't know what it is about his voice. It sounds so
cool. He's got such a great voice for it, and obviously he only puts it on a tiny bit, right? Have you heard him in interviews?
Yeah. I watched. He did a podcast with someone where they spoke a lot about this game, and I was watching that. He just sounds like John Marston, and like the guy that was doing the podcast at one point calls him John. And he's like, oh, like, I'm so sorry I called you John. And he's like, no, I love that. That's so cool.
That's awesome. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
He seems like a great dude as well.
Yeah, he does. I think he just loves it. He was saying about this, he'd been in a couple small movies and stuff, but being John Marston was like his big thing. I'm not sure what else he's done, to be honest. But he'll always be John Marston to a lot of people.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Another standout character that doesn't actually get enough time in this. Obviously, he's a big part of it later on, but he's not actually there for long on screen, is Seth. Seth's voice actor is so good.
He is so good. I hate the character. I find him so annoying. But the voice acting is very, very good.
Did you hate him in the main game as well?
I did, yeah, I did.
He's one that always stuck out to me.
Always stuck out to me as well. There's something about his character that I find him so gross.
Well, that's a good thing. I thought you meant like you just didn't like you thought he was a bad character.
Awesome character, fantastic.
Oh yeah, then I'm 100% on it. His nasty little fingers.
Yeah, he's such a grim little bugger.
Yeah, he's horrible, but his voice acting's so good. There's the bit where you go and speak to him in this, and he's just like, he's just so lighthearted about it. He's like, people are rising from the dead.
Yeah. He's playing coy. I like it. They created a little mystery for me. I quite like that on his story beat. There's the snake oil guy.
Yeah.
What's his name? I wish I'd written these guys' names
Dickens?
down. Yeah, something like that.
So like Wes Dickens.
Wes Dickens, yeah.
Yeah, he's cool.
His voice acting is great. Another character I don't like. He's such an awful little bastard.
I think this game's like, Red Dead in general is quite good at doing that.
Who's the old cowboy fella you mentioned?
Landon Ricketts.
Landon Ricketts. Who's he voiced by? Is that like David Carradine? He has like such a old grizzled like thingy.
I've just had a look. It's
accent.
His name is Ross Hagen.
Ross Hagen.
Don't recognize him. They named a mountain in Red Dead Redemption 2 after him. Mount Hagen.
Oh, Hagen. Oh, yeah.
Sadly passed away shortly after Red Dead Redemption 1 came out.
Oh, shit, that sucks. Never hear that voice again.
I'm just looking at his IMDb. I don't recognize anything else he's been in. But he was a, older dude. It looks like he played cowboys in some films, born in 1938. So, any other characters stick out for you, particularly?
The zombies. I gotta give it to whoever was doing that team, because man, the zombie noises are the best.
Really good.
It's one of those games that like there's such specific noises that like it makes your brain go mental every time you hear them.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the parts of this game where, you know, the graphics and the kind of presentation did it a little bit, but there are little moments where it's like, it's spooky. Like, it is like horror, you know, it's not a horror game, but it does some of the horror stuff.
I'm with you. Even at my old age, I still get that little funny feeling in me sometimes. I'm like, yeah.
Like, they do like the proper like wails, like big screams, especially the female zombies.
Yeah, they're horrible. The ones I really hate, the ones that just like burp at you. That's, I hate that in all games. I think it's something to do with my psyche. I just can't stand hearing some people burp. So there's always like belching fucking. Oh god, I hate it.
Yeah,
really riles me up. So there's a lot of emotion riding high when I was playing this game.
That's good though. That's what it's there for.
Oh yeah, it's exciting stuff for sure.
Another thing that kind of changes with the sound in Undead Nightmare, because we can't just talk about like the gun sounds and stuff from the main game. Obviously, it all sounds good. Bats instead of birds. Obviously, you see them as bats as well. But when a flock of bats fly from the tree, you hear the bats.
Yeah, it's excellent. There's a few challenges to try and hit bats with certain weapons as well.
Yeah, and you know, shooting the zombies sounds good. It's probably just that from the main game, but they make the squelchy noise when you pop ahead.
Yes, there's a lot of audio feedback in it. I think with the sounds that repeat from the zombies themselves, like so you know which types they are. And then when you get the head pop, like it's quite, you know, it's a pop, so you're like, okay, I can move on.
Yeah, some of the we'll get into it with the gameplay, but some of the special infected, they make certain noises.
Yeah. It's good sound design. Yeah. It's like you always know what's going on. The sounds that you can make through your interactions, they are actual feedback, which is like really important for games. And I think a lot of games do get that wrong. They kind of treat the sound design as like an element of the artscape, when actually it's a part of the mechanical feedback loop. Like you need it to have haptic feedback as well as audio feedback and visual feedback.
Yeah. Outside of the actual kind of soundtrack itself as well, they do kind of like trigger sounds, so that you just get like a big like string or organ hit, just like classic horror sounds. Like you'll go into a town and it'll hit you with just like a big, you know, almost like someone's just like pulling on a violin.
Yeah.
Or
big like shrill, like
I don't know what you'd actually call that. There'll be a musical
orchestral
term.
hit or whatever, and just like or like a
yeah. That exact one kind of sounds like a UFO. They do that as you're going around the world, and sometimes that adds to it. Another part of the voice acting I forgot to mention that caught me, and it's something that we'll also talk about with the gameplay, is you get like the random little world events, not the extra little missions, just random things that happen on the side of the road. And it, you know, for example, one of them is someone like crying with their loved one, and then the loved one like wakes up and turns into a zombie and eats them. Or there's another one where they shoot their loved one that's turning and they shoot themselves. And I just remember having a moment towards the start of the game when you come out of Blackwater and riding up the road, and there was that second one. And it was like kind of just silence with just the kind of strings in the background, and then this voice acting of these like random people on the side doing that, and then the gunshot goes off and echoes, and a load of bats fly away. I was like, that's kind of spooky and like moving.
Yeah, it is.
And
spooky.
I don't remember having those
good.
feels as a kid. I didn't have the kind of like emotional intelligence to really care. I'm a cowboy shooting zombies. But yeah, that got me this time.
Yeah, me too. I tried to find as many of those as I could. I did start seeing the same ones over and over again.
The guy on the Gatling gun.
Guy on the Gatling gun, especially, because he's very loud.
Yeah.
But again, like another perfect use of sound design, and I thought it really drew me into the world. And even later on, when I think by the time I was starting to see them again, my immersion was already like broken. Do you know what I mean? I'd been in the game for too long. That's going to be like that for like any game. So I didn't really say that sit that as a negative.
No,
itself.
No, they can't be infinite.
Yeah. But as they were very cool, and yeah, the sound had a big part to do with that for me.
It did, and like you said about the Gatling gun, you hear the Gatling gun going off, and you're like, "Oh, what's that?" Like out in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, of course. And you can get on it, and you can use it.
Yeah, you can. I'd shoot the guy with it. And then the actual soundtrack of the game. Before I say anything, what do you think about it?
Obviously, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah,
and it's very slightly transformative from the typical soundtrack.
Yeah,
feels like they've got like a custom remixes of most of the main tracks, or at least like similar tracks, and then to make it like that spooky zombie film, which was so cool, and it ran so well.
Yeah,
like throughout the game, and for all the set pieces, they had their own tracks too, which was super cool. The only thing I do wish is that it was slightly more varied, like combat and stuff. But as it works dynamically, like when you do sort of accidentally run yourself into a group of zombies out in the field and it starts blaring up the combat music, it's fucking great. Gets me going every time. Doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I agree. The soundtrack runs from kind of classic horror organs, violins, to frantic combat music that almost reminds me of, in Left 4 Dead, when you get a horde, music like picks up.
Yeah.
That sort of stuff. Yeah. And then it goes into the actual kind of like musical scores. And like there's one in the penultimate mission where you have like a song playing as you're riding your horse somewhere. Got these like old school punk sort of psychobilly, rockabilly tunes, big double basses, real guttural, deep voice vocalist. It just sounds cool in it. It fits so well with Cowboys, even though it wouldn't be music that was being made at the time of the Cowboys. It really fits.
Yeah, it didn't even matter.
Yeah, it really fits.
Super cool.
So cool. I've been listening to some of it today before recording. Yeah, it's cool. And it adds to that. They're kind of juggling horror, they're juggling silly, and then also cool with, everything in this game, the presentation, the missions, and the sound, and the soundtrack fits that as well.
Definitely does.
Anything else to say on the music and sound? Like I said, when I was younger, not really something I noticed. I think music and sound in games has generally been something that I've been more aware of and appreciated more as I've got older, because I don't think it's such a glaring thing when you're maybe a bit newer to games, or where you don't think about it, because you kind of, a big part of playing the game is, the tactile playing the game and then what you're seeing. And music is kind of a background, music and sound are a kind of a background stimulus, but I've noticed how important they are, and I've noticed how important they are kind of becoming such a big fan of like horror games as well. It kind of sits at my sort of top genre nowadays with survival horrors, and it's so important.
Absolutely. Do you think it's like the crucial part of the atmosphere?
I think it really might be. When I think of some of my favorite games, and not even horror games, I'm always going to talk about Halo. That soundtrack is like, I was like 6 years old playing Halo for the first time, and instantly that soundtrack is ingrained in my brain. But then also I think of other games, not a modern game, but a game I kind of got into with the remake, Silent Hill 2, that has like this such cool, weird, almost like Brit pop rock soundtrack at times, but then like emotional guitars and then obviously like ambient sounds. And I think it really does add a lot, even if you're not thinking about it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I do feel that as well about a lot of stuff in games. I think a lot with Red Dead is the, like I said, it transforms from the usual Red Dead into the spooky Red Dead.
Yeah.
And the music it really just set the scene so perfectly the whole way through. And like you said, it's maybe not the music that cowboys would be listening to, but for somebody like indulging in that kind of media, it's just perfect.
Yeah, it fits really well, and I think it still holds up fine. I didn't notice anything that sounded kind of antiquated or anything like that. The voice acting, the actual like musical score, the ambient sounds, gun sounds, impact sounds, all sounded fine.
Yeah, definitely. It was a really good mix of stuff, and dynamically it all pulled itself together. Really, really good, intelligent soundscape from like a mechanical point and like an atmospheric point. Really good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
Probably one of Rockstar's like hot points, in my opinion.
For sure, 100%. They always do it with the like specifically composed music for the game, but then also with obviously GTA with the radios, their selection of tracks.
Yeah.
They always smash it. GTA 5 has songs that were big songs that then became the song, like if it comes on the radio, you think of GTA.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. There's a song that they had on there like very early on, and when it went to PC, they ended up taking the song off, but it was on there for years, and it's a really, really bad song about some really bad stuff. I'm not going to name it, but yeah, they had that shit on there for years and years without realizing what it meant, because it's all in like patois.
I can't even think what you're on about. We'll talk about it later. If we don't want to say about it now. And
I'm not going to say that on the podcast. No way.
Fair enough.
It was actually really bad. Like, no one talks about it either.
Yeah, no, I don't even know what you're on about. We'll talk about it. Another like quick soundtrack that I mentioned, and it's a game that I'd really like to do for this podcast, Bully, that had some amazing soundtracks. I can actually hear it now.
Wow. What a fab game. Really cool game.
I'm sure I'll be able to find someone that didn't play it.
Sad they won't do a sequel for Bully. Remaster would be good.
Yeah, they'd struggle. I think they'd struggle to get that like kind of approved and stuff now. These days. No.
These days.
No,
yeah, it's
Take
Two Interactive, you know.
Is that who sits
Take Two, aren't they?
I don't know if that is who sits on top of Rockstar, or if Rockstar just still self-owned.
I'm pretty sure it's Take Two Interactive.
It is. They're the parent company.
Okay, so, I mean, when it comes to these big conglomerates like that, you know, it's the same as why Valve don't do Half-Life 3. It's just, why take the risk, man? Like, you're going to spend, $400 million making the next fucking, you know, series of DLCs for all these games, and they might not sell that well, or they might sell really great. But at the end of the day, you've had to spend $400 million. Why take the risk?
Yeah.
Sell more shark cards.
That's why I literally took the words out of my mouth. They know GTA 6 is going to sell well. They could do a Red Dead 3 if they wanted to, and it'd sell well.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, but not as well as GTA 6 will. Holy shit, that's going to sell better than any game ever will.
Yeah, we're in an interesting position with that being PC players who don't own a current gen console. You don't, do you? I don't.
No.
So we're going to be playing that after release and after the dust has settled and after all the reviews. So it'd be interesting, because if it wasn't, I know I'd be buying it on release day.
Yeah, for sure. Same.
And I imagine it's going to be good, and I imagine I'm still going to buy it.
I'm the spoiler avoider. I'll be alright.
Yeah. Anyway, tangent. Let's get into the gameplay. So the gameplay, obviously, it takes what we knew with the Red Dead 1 kind of formula, but throws zombies at you. So you're no longer in gunfight combat. You're not really using the cover system. You're just popping zombies, and it feels good.
Feels real good.
The kind of general sort of way the missions will run is the same as Red Dead 1. You'll get a quest marker for a certain character, and you'll be going doing a quest. This is where some of it kind of can get a little stale. It's a short game. A lot of time it's going somewhere, it's killing zombies, it's saving people.
Yeah. It's simplistic, but in a way that's not lacking.
But the way the zombie combat feels is really nice. They have that, the ragdoll that kind of came in with GTA 4 and sat with Red Dead as well, where there's the feedback to bullets and things fall and ragdoll and they make a thud. And it translates really well to zombies, especially with having the of the time weapons, bolt actions and revolvers and lever actions. They're quite big, hard hitting guns. You're not spraying down zombies. And when you've got loads of them running at you and you're just hitting them in the head, either with Deadeye or without Deadeye, and they're like, their heads are popping and they're just thudding to the ground or stumbling around. It does feel really good. And as far as a game goes where you're just killing zombies, it's one of the better feeling ones. It doesn't just feel like you're mowing down kind of hordes of just like random zombies that don't have any weight behind them. They all feel like they're really getting shot, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I completely understand what you mean. It's like if you've got a horde of 13 zombies running at you, you've got a 6-shooter. You've really got to make them count. So you want to kill at least 6 of those zombies with a headshot each. But, you better be a pretty good shot if you want to do that. So you do end up in these like situations of like pretty tight pressure, and you're trying to use your movement and stuff. God, I hate the movement in this game.
Yeah, that's one part where the gameplay, it's a thing with the main game as well. John's got like a weird turn in circle and stuff.
Yeah, but it adds to a challenge which on this format where I'm not trying to dodge like bullets and get into cover and stuff. It actually kind of felt a bit better. Yeah,
no, it's that like inertia limitation of running away from zombies.
There's a really cool combat feature where if you have a weapon equipped in your right hand like a firearm and you are close enough to a zombie and you're running towards them and you shoot, just like you didn't even have to aim, you just press the right trigger, you'll like enter like this mini cutscene where you quickly like blow its head off with that gun.
Yeah, stick the barrel up in its chin.
Yeah, it's fucking great. So you can kind of like get these like little fluid sort of packs going where you can actually deal with 10 zombies at once, and you're just sort of like, trundling around in your little funny cowboy run.
I think that it does also then fit with like the being able to do that is not hard. The game's not hard at all.
What was your favorite gun? Yeah, like in general, to pop zombies.
Any shotgun. It's the zombie killing gun.
It is like, it does feel like a superpower. It's like you just feel untouchable with it. It's the double barrel. You love the double barrel.
Yeah, the long one as well, not the short one.
Yeah, of course the long one. I'm hunting game on my game got home.
I feel like the shotgun is just, it's the zombie killer, right? Out of the guns. You always feel safe with the shotgun killing zombies.
I quite liked later on you get a lever action which has got like 20 bullets in it. I liked just getting one of them and using a full Deadeye and just murking an entire crowd.
And they all drop at like near enough the same time.
Yeah, and you get this like great thing with the audio engine where it plays like 20 death noises at once, and it's fucking like, it's like getting flashbangs in your ears. You're like, they're all like, you're like, oh god, geez. Symphony.
Looking more into kind of like the way the quests actually play out. First, like, is there anything that stood out that you liked, or anything you thought that they did different with this one that kind of improved over not having the human interactions?
Everything felt really streamlined in the game. It felt like it was trying to push me forwards quickly, because most of the sort of major missions for a good portion of the game, and then a couple of times later on, just like randomly, they are sort of missions which directly need you to like a new feature or a new area. or a new way that you're supposed to interact with like the systems. So I felt like most of the missions, even though a lot of them are like fetch quests or just like go here to kill 20 of these, a lot of that was like kind of constructive towards one of the major features of the sort of mechanics. So by the time I like, learned most of the systems, I was already like halfway through the missions. And I kind of appreciated that, like from a design standpoint.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's important for games to not throw all the tools at you at once and lead you to the tools. Which, like you said, this one does. It kind of introduces gameplay mechanics. It introduces the first special infected when you clear out I think it's the first church yard, like graveyard you'd clear out, which is, one of the mechanics in the game. You clear these graveyards in some missions. And then it slowly does that, introduces you to new guns, new weapons and stuff. And also the new infected.
Yeah, it tells you to clear out a town, and then it's like, oh, this town is cleared. There'll be survivors here, but careful because it'll get overrun. And that doesn't happen for like days and days. And then, later on it'll be like, oh, you need to go back and do that. And by then, it's good, it's fine. And then I found later on I was like liberating towns and I was getting rewarded new guns for liberating the town. And I hadn't even realized that was what was happening. So I was like, oh shit, like this is how I get new guns. So I just went and did all of them.
Yeah, this is something that I'll kind of branches into like my couple negative thoughts about the gameplay. I think the liberating the towns is fine, and getting the guns from it. It's kind of a bit of an open world trope now, where you kind of go liberate a town or an enemy base or climb a tower, and that's how you get your unlocks. Fine. I don't really see the point in having them get overrun again. The only thing I can see is it stops you fast traveling the same way. Yeah, because if the town's overrun, you can't fast travel there.
Yeah,
but
you can't save and stuff.
You move through with the main quest. You move through the map in an anti-clockwise position. If you think about it, you move from Blackwater, which is on the right of the map, across the left side of America, down to Mexico, across to the right side of Mexico. You don't ever really need to travel back to any of those towns.
Yeah, for real. I mean, it only happens like occasionally that you'll have to go back near any kind of area, and most of that's for like the side missions or the challenges. But I did do a lot of... I ended up going all around the map, to be fair, like loads and loads of times. So I did like all the treasure maps and all that kind of shit. In terms of the main missions, like if you're just smashing main missions, you just go in that route there. So I don't know, if you're like fucking around and stuff like I was, like they were starting to get attacked and shit, and I remembered rescuing at least 2 towns and letting one like get completely ruined.
Yeah, and then it's done. Yeah.
And either way, I just didn't really give a shit. But
yeah, it doesn't feel...
I still interacted with it, so I wasn't having like a bad time.
Oh yeah, it's not a bad time. It's just I wonder what the Rockstar's philosophy behind having them become overrun was. Why they thought the player might want to go and help them.
Feel like there would have been like a deeper system in place at some point, or something, because there was, I don't know. The game just feels like there wasn't enough time put into it, and there was like some systems which were put in place really well, but like you said, like why? Like what's the fucking point?
Yeah. And then my other negative is a couple of fetch quests. Go gather me 10 flowers.
Yeah.
Why? It's not fun. Or go find me this special infected from this area. Well, how big is this area? There's no boundary that's clearly there. So it's the one where you have to get I think it's the spitter one for West Dickens. Took me ages.
Yeah.
I just couldn't find one. And then all of a sudden, after I get it, they're everywhere. Obviously, I know that the game's doing it like that. It's introducing the zombie. But when I needed to find one, when it first introduces them, I could not find one for ages.
That's pretty... Yeah, it like tells you in like a tiny bit of information somewhere. I can't remember where.
You have to go to like one of the ridges.
Yeah, Gaptooth Ridge, I think it was.
Yeah, Gaptooth Ridge. One cool thing about Gaptooth Ridge is when you're riding there, there's like a crevasse and it's full of zombies.
Oh shit! Really? I don't think.
Did you not see it? It's literally it's like a long passageway between 2 big rocks, and it's literally full of zombies. And at the time, I had it's a spoiler, but whatever. The warhorse.
Oh, okay.
horse
Yeah, okay.
sets zombies on fire. So I'm like running through it, and there's just like a wall of fire behind me.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it was
That
cool.
is so fun. Yeah, moments like that are excellent.
Yeah, getting back onto the zombies as well, you've got the special infected. So you've got the bruiser, which gets introduced with Uncle Mordecai in one of the graveyards. They're a tank. They can kind of head down, charge at you like the charger from Left 4 Dead, and they'll knock you over. And getting knocked over is kind of the most sort of dangerous thing that can happen to you in this game because you get swarmed.
Yeah. The zombies hit you really hard. They don't like try and bite you. They don't really cause like a cutscene very often. You know, like an interaction where you're like, stuck to the spot and you have to like tap you and all that bullshit. Most of the time they just like fling their arms at you like a gorilla and smack
beat
the fuck
your
out,
ass.
yeah. But like 6 of them can do it at once, so your health bar just disappears immediately.
Yeah, I had a couple moments where there'd be multiple charges and I get like charged at, and you do the classic like Red Dead Redemption, he kind of stumbles and trips over his own feet, then gets back up slowly, and then another one hits me and I'm just like pinned on the floor. But I don't think I actually died to zombies the whole time playing it. I think the only time I died is I ran off a cliff on the horse.
Oh, that sucks. I hate losing my horse. One thing I will say is like it's very transformative from the main game. Like it's not anything like it in a sense of like there's no property, there's no upgrades for your guns or anything, and there's no money. You don't seek money at all.
The currency
like
is
any
bullets.
reward you get is bullets, from anyone. Which I thought was really fun, actually, because it was like there's and it's not cheap. Like there's no way you can't go to like a base and like refill all of your ammo if you want to. Like you have to just get it. Like if you need more, you have to just go and get it. Like later on, you learn where you can get it. And you just get it, but like it's good. I like it like that, and it forces you to use different weapons as well, which I found really interesting. It felt like one big mission, the whole thing.
Yeah, it does.
But that was fun.
Yeah, it is fun. Going back to the special infected as well, you got, so we said about the bruiser. There's also the bolter, which like runs around on all fours. It's just really quick. They're the ones that squeal really loudly. And then the spitter, which just spits a projectile at you. I don't know what they actually called it in this game. I know they called them like bruiser, bolter, but I can't remember what the spitter one's actually called.
Or like fucking belcher or like squelcher.
I think it actually is. I think it's belcher.
And then you shoot them, and when you down them, they kind of fizz up and explode.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which is quite cool, and it's quite useful sometimes.
Yeah, and then alongside the zombies, you've also got some of the aggressive animals that just return from the main game. Bear, like a bull buffalo, wolves, and then the
cougar,
the bobcat type thing, mountain lion, which is zombified. They act in the exact same way as they do in the base game, though.
Yeah, I don't know if they're tougher. I think they're tougher because you have to shoot them in the head.
Yeah, I feel like that's an added thing. It feels like they needed headshots.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you encounter many issues with the gameplay, like bugs or anything like that?
Yeah, like one catastrophic one, which I think was a pretty big freak, and just because it was a port. And then a few animation issues, like my horse animations weren't playing properly. But gameplay bugs wise, not really. I mean, it's pretty reliable and smooth. The only thing that's annoying is like just how like fucking annoying it is to move around and jump over shit and climb stuff. You want to climb stuff a lot as well, because it's like, zombies can't climb anything in this game. So trying to climb up onto shit was just such a fucking nightmare half the time.
Yeah, mostly the same for me.
Hate the horse, man. Oh my god. I flicked between like loving the horse and hating the horse so many times, but overall, there's no other way to deal with it. I fully appreciate that, but overall, I just fucking hated having to ride around on the horse for so long.
Yeah, sprinting in a straight line as a horse is fine, but you go around a tight corner on a cliff edge. You don't make the corner, but then the horses don't automatically want to run off the cliff edges, so then it kind of just like stops you in your tracks.
Yeah, very annoying.
Yeah, I didn't. And
also,
it
just takes a long time, and like on GTA and things like that, you're passing through a city, or you're like, the most boring part of GTA is when you like end up on those big long roads that go around the island and there's like nothing to do. And when you're halfway around, it's been 10 minutes. You're like, actually, I'm kind of bored of this. That's what it's like in Red Dead, like all the time. You just fucking ride around your fucking horse all the fucking time. After like a minute or two, I'm just like, well, can we just get there? Because there's like fuck all around me. Like, I've seen the trees and that, and actually, I'm just playing a game. Like real talk.
Yeah, it is.
It kind of breaks my immersion a little bit.
It's an issue with Red Dead, both of them, but Red Dead 2's got a little bit of a fuller world, so it doesn't feel as bad. But Red Dead 1, I notice times in this where I'm just like riding long stretches on the horse and nothing's really happening.
There's no A-life system, man.
There's no A-life system. But yeah, outside of that, I didn't really have many issues. I had a couple hard crashes.
Oh, actually, there was one thing. I noticed that if I found a spawn, like a cougar, because I was later on, I was trying to do all these fucking challenges, trying to get all these different animals and shit. If I found a cougar, I could like kill it and then turn my back on where it spawned and then turn around and there'd be a new one. And I could just keep doing that. And especially for bears, it works really well on bears.
Huh. Well,
you can just like stand 10 feet away and just like turn around and shit. Yeah, it works exactly the same as in Stalker 2.
Yeah, it sounds like Stalker 2 A-Life.
Absolutely fucked.
Yeah. Anyway, let's not get into Stalker 2. Yeah, the fetch quests was like one of the other issues I had. I thought the looting animations can be a bit tedious for like one bullet.
Yeah, I stopped looting gold.
So did I, because you kind of get enough ammo anyway.
Yeah, it's really annoying. I completely agree. But that was always my complaint in the original for like skinning animals and shit.
Yeah. Other features of the main game is there's some unlockable outfits, like you mentioned, kind of complete challenges. And then there's the extra horses that you can get, which we'll discuss properly after spoilers. But outside of that, there's not really many added features. Apart from actually, there's some extra weapons and tools. So you get the sawn-off double barrel shotgun. You get a blunderbuss, which you fill with zombie limbs.
Yeah, just like shit.
And it just obliterates packs of zombies. You get, from West Dickens, you get a zombie bait.
I like the zombie bait.
Yeah, zombie bait's cool. I always love the boomer bile in Left 4 Dead.
Yeah,
Get them to run into fire. You get holy water, which you can throw, and also get holy water bullets. It's very strong. I had a really cool moment clearing one of the graveyards.
Yeah, holy water bullets?
Yes, you can. Did you not?
I thought I got like fire bullets, but I don't know about holy bullets.
Yeah, well, that's what they are. They're like the fire bullets, but it's that blue flame. I'm pretty sure it's like the holy water.
Shit.
I had a really cool moment clearing one of the graveyards where I threw a bait down and then threw some holy water, and it's like that blue fire, and all the zombies are on fire. Like every zombie that spawned in the graveyard, I trained into one group and set them all on fire. And then when you clear a graveyard out, the camera like pans away and the music plays. And I had it like the camera pans away and there's just all these zombies running around on fire with this like bright blue fire in the middle of the night. And it looked really cinematic. And it was just
cool.
It just kind of worked like that.
Good moment. That's a really cool moment. It does offer that.
You get what is it you get from Landon Ricketts? It's like dynamite.
He upgrades your bait.
Yeah, to have dynamite on it.
Have dynamite on it. So you chuck the bait and it smashes, and then there's a dynamite stick left over, and they're all like, ooh, smelly. They run to it, and then the dynamite goes off. It's great. Yeah. I had a lot of fun with that one. Yeah.
Was there any cool moments that you noticed with the gameplay? I had one where you meet a character and they're getting attacked by a zombie, and they're a quest giver, but in the world they're being attacked by a zombie, and you'll go up to them and the cutscene will start. I tried to shoot the zombie, and a stray pellet of my shotgun just obliterated the main character. And I think it just maybe like come back later or something like that. I can't remember if it just hard resets you or if it just says come back later.
So funny. That's so funny. I don't remember that bit, but that sounds hilarious.
Did you have any like big moments that stood out?
Oh god, I'm trying to think. I mean, honestly, the biggest moment for me was the final mission. I just felt like such a pimp in that bit. But there was plenty of parts. I mean, I did play it a lot. I probably played it for a good 10 hours. I did everything. I had a good time. There's a load of places that has like dynamite and fuel canisters set out that I would just shoot and cause a calamity, which is a lot of fun. Just messing around with people, like grabbing zombies with the lasso and trying to dump them off cliffs and stuff.
Oh yeah, classic on Red Dead. Yeah,
blew myself off the cliff with the zombie, you know, by accident. Trying to.
I used to in Red Dead when I was younger, because I've said about the ragdoll physics a lot. For some reason, when I was younger, this was something I fixated onto, and I just liked seeing the funny ragdolls and seeing what I could get them to do. Yeah. I'd like full speed on the horse, sprint to a cliff, and then as you get to the edge, you can like aim down and shoot your own horse in the head, and it will like eject you off the front. I used to just do that in Red Dead and find it hilarious.
That's so funny. And then just wait for like 3 minutes for a loading screen. It doesn't matter because you're just dying of laughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's good to be young, eh? To be honest, I could probably still do that now and fucking have a great time.
I did it at least once playing this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I had to.
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Cool. So I think we still have some other bits to talk about with the gameplay, but they're kind of spoilery. So I'll drop the spoiler warning now. Going to discuss spoilers, more specifics of the plot and things in and around the game, any outcomes of plot points. So if you've not played the game and you want to play it, come back. There you go. That's the spoiler warning. My warhorse disappeared. That was one thing I wanted to say in like the weird issues I had. I don't know what happened. I got off it, there was no zombies around, and next time I called it, it was just the standard horse came back. I was really sad.
That's so annoying.
Yeah.
Can you find it again, or is it like that's it now?
I couldn't.
Yeah, I had to do a lot of work to get them all.
Yeah, so you've got these horses, and they're the 4 horses of the apocalypse. And you find them. I think you find them in an order. Was yours? You found War first.
Yeah, I found War first,
and then it's Pestilence second.
Yeah, I found like the stinky one after that.
Yeah. So it goes in an order. But you get the horses. So it's War, Pestilence, or like Plague, Death, which you get at the end. What's the other one?
Famine.
Famine. Yeah, that's it. And they have different abilities. So like War sets zombies on fire when you run over it. Death, which you get after completing the main story, pop zombies' heads. Famine is like invincible, and then like Pestilence is like can run forever.
It can run forever, but then the weird thing is that all the undead horses can run forever, unless that's just part of the patch that we had.
Yeah, I don't really know.
From the port. But it's like, yeah, they were very cool. I liked them a lot. Finding the horses were the moments where I was like, oh my god, I like the horse. They're great. But I did use the war horse for like the whole time because it sets shellfire.
Yeah, and the horses is one of the things that sat in my memory the most of this game. Like thinking about it from when I was younger, I thought it was a really cool premise. And at the time, being young, I didn't know about the horses of the apocalypse, so I went down a rabbit hole with that.
Oh, that's cool. So it kind of led you into biblical. Oh my god, it like radicalized you.
I wouldn't say radicalized me.
I don't know, bro. Look at the state here.
But no, it definitely got me to look into it.
Yeah, okay.
And that kind of leads me into other things to talk about with the gameplay. That Rockstar have always done this. They like their myths and legends. So obviously they do the horses of the apocalypse. They do, at the end of the game, they do Chupacabra, which you can find. And then they do probably the best mission in this DLC, one of the most famous and a massive Rockstar callback. Obviously, they do the Sasquatch's Bigfoot mission.
Yeah.
Which is obviously like a huge reference to San Andreas. The achievement that you get for completing that mission is a reference to San Andreas. So that's a mission where you go, you meet the guy in the tall trees who lives in a cabin. He's like the game hunter. I can't remember his name. And he tells you about Sasquatches, and he's like,
He's got a young woman who's wooing with his survival skills.
yeah, and he's like, yeah, there's these Sasquatches, Bigfoots out there, they're eating babies, and you go and like kill a load of them, and then you get talking to one, and it's like, oh, why are you killing us? And Master's like, you eat babies, and it's like, no, we eat plants and mushrooms.
It's like really peaceful. He's like sobbing. He's crying his eyes out. You just murdered like 6.
He said he's the last. Well, yeah, he says he's the last of his species, right? And he like sits next to a tree and he's like, "Kill me," and I killed him. Mercy. But then you go back and there's just more.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you go back to Tall Trees, you can just see them again.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's a cool mission. I never saw
one again.
It's a very cool mission.
Oh, terrible, man.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd never even I knew about the mission, but for some reason, when I was playing through the mission, I didn't register at all. And when I actually got to the Sasquatch, I was like, oh my God, I was actually really like hurt. I was like, oh my God, what have I done? Can't believe I've killed this kind. I think I hit him with my torch.
Oh, that's awful. Just set him on fire. I put him out. Put him out of his misery.
With a double barrel shotgun, I'm sure, your favorite gun.
Of course.
How is that more humane than actually, yeah, no, what am I talking about?
Really? You're gonna ask getting your head blown off by a shotgun or just burning to death?
I don't know, Dark Souls reference, something.
Yeah.
Give him a way out,
You're a sadist.
Okay, well, here's something for the 4 Horsemen, because, like I said, I'm sure they'd like to have done more with this DLC. I swear, like the 4 horses of the 4 Horsemen, originally they must have discussed them being the 4 Horsemen. Like
I was literally going to say this.
Them. And like, I can imagine these great set pieces where it sort of semi-transforms you into a cutscene and like drags your camera in as you're riding and it takes control and it like points up to a cliff top and then a big lightning bolt happens and like there's war.
Yeah,
to like essentially like battle him, and it happens like randomly for all 4 of them.
Yeah, or even like you see all 4 of them just like ominously looking at you, and then it moves into those sorts of things.
Yeah, and it can like tease it over and over, like and that's kind of puts a bit more like pressure on riding around the map and stuff.
Yeah, the rider on a pale horse, and the horse's name was Death. Obviously, you become that rider at the end of the game, but.
Sure, when it gives you the horse.
Yeah, it would have been cool. And this is something I was literally going to say. I thought they could have, even though the horses are cool and the mythology stuff is cool with like the Chupacabra and stuff, they could have done more with it, and they could have done some side quests about it, like the Freaks and Strangers type missions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about the lack of director and DOP. I should have got someone else.
Yeah.
Sorry, boys.
Have you got anything else to say regarding the gameplay? Spoiler, not spoiler? We should probably talk about like the missions as well. Any standout missions? Obviously, you said about the final mission. Don't know what it was with me. I didn't love it.
We didn't love any of them. I liked the train one.
No, I loved some of them. I didn't love the last one.
You didn't love the last one?
No, just running down the hallways, just killing more zombies. Obviously, they look a little bit different at the end, and I don't know if they were like stronger.
Maybe
like,
I don't know.
Red eyes.
It gives you the semi-auto shotgun at the end. That's why I felt like such a pimp. I wasn't even running. I was just walking through the hallways, just fucking pimping out, whacking these guys with this shotgun.
Yeah, it's as cool as killing the zombies is, but I thought I couldn't, from obviously not playing it for like 10 years, couldn't quite remember how the ending mission pans out. So I was like, I'm sure there's going to be like a kind of set piece thing that happens, but not really. They only kind of do that the one time on the train.
Yeah, to be fair, I will give you that. Like a lot of the other missions just kind of revolve around
running
existing
around
mechanics, like liberating a town or like running around shooting.
Yeah. So yeah, the train one was cool. You get on a train and ride it to Mexico. The zombies are chasing you. You just shoot them off the back of it.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, that felt cool, especially with again the ragdolls, the zombies like dying and like bouncing off the side of the train as they fall.
Yeah. Not particularly well executed, I will say. I would have liked to see more from that, as well as other set pieces. And like what we said about the 4 Horsemen, like the whole experience was lacking in these little clever set pieces where it drags you into the atmosphere deliberately, which is a bit of a shame.
There's like some extra little side quests you can do. Instead of the bounty hunts in this one, you go and look for missing people. But that kind of, there's not a lot to that.
I did that twice, once because it was for a main mission and the other for a challenge. The challenges were good. I unlocked all the outfits.
Yeah, there's some cool outfits.
On both versions of the, pre and after game. And then I got all of the horses as well, and the secret horse at the end, and I killed the Chupacabra. So I'm pretty much goated for Undead Nightmare at this point. I've got everything. I've done it all.
Yeah, we didn't mention that one with the horses. There's there's like a fifth and final secret horse, the unicorn, and it's the fastest, and it leaves a little rainbow trail.
I jumped, I say jumped, it's a bit dodgy, but I fell off a cliff, like a 15-foot cliff, right after I got the unicorn. And my whole fucking computer just locked out. And I had to turn off my PSU.
Damn.
And launch in safe mode and then restart my computer.
You're not allowed to kill the unicorn, man.
Absolutely. It destroyed my computer.
Banned it. So, it's like shooting kids in games. It just doesn't let you do it.
Yeah, I mean,
can't hurt the unicorn.
Bad, I guess. Louis.
Overall, I remember it being fun. It still is fun. Shooting the zombies feels good. Rockstar always nailed the feeling of weight and the way bodies fall, and the gunplay feels fine. But it does make me, with the variation of the zombies, does make me glad that the game's only short.
Yeah.
I don't know how long I could just liberate villages and just shoot into hordes of zombies for.
Yeah, for sure.
If you were going to say what could they have done to have more of this, it's just more zombie types, have the zombies act in interesting ways. Better AI. I know I speak a lot about Left 4 Dead, but Left 4 Dead's got really smart zombie AI, but this isn't Left 4 Dead. This is just a fun little DLC. It's not a tough you against the zombie AI game.
Yeah, I mean, if they wanted it to be, they could have just made the zombies able to climb, and if they could, then it would have been twice as hard.
I like it when they can't. I like standing on top of them and watching a horde of zombies around me, like in Dead Rising.
Yeah, man, it is fun. Why not? It's one of those types of zombies, like the Romero type zombie. It's dumb and slow.
Dumb and slow. That's the sort of zombies you'd want, right?
Yeah, of course. If I was up against a zombie horde, I'd want to be able to run away.
Yeah, I mean, I wake up tomorrow, there's zombies, I look outside and I see World War Z zombies running down the street. I ain't even bothering.
Yeah, man, I'm just going to lock up and starve to death. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm taking the easy way out. But these sorts of zombies, may as well give it a go. Have a bit of fun, right?
I reckon I could make enough soil out of what's in my fridge and my own shit. I could grow a little farm in my spare toilet.
We've all thought about it. We've all thought of the zombie contingency plan. You're lying if you say you haven't.
How are you going to get water,
I've played Project Zomboid.
I'm getting lost in the zombie thoughts. That's another thing about this game. It came out in a way where I can see why it was rushed, and I'm pretty sure the studio were like, right, we should probably hop on the zombie trend. There was a big zombie trend at the time.
Yeah. Ingrained into my brain was Angry Joe show of hey Joe, want to play another zombie game? They were everywhere. I think this came out I don't know if it was the same day or same week as The Walking Dead started airing.
Oh.
Or something like that, yeah.
Interesting.
It was at the peak of zombies, and obviously Rockstar wanted to try it, and I guess they thought that, the Wild West and John Marston was the best place to do it.
It's another reason why I thought that your point about the narrator at the start disappearing is a bit weird, because they set it up like it was this fun thing, really stylized, like a movie, and then everything that we've discussed as a con so far is a bad point. It's basically the lack of story enrichment towards that. They're like, it's this, guys, and then for the rest of the game they're just lacking. It's such a shame.
I agree. Beautiful segue as well, as we can get on to discussing the story. John Marston and the family peacefully at home. This, obviously, it's non-canonical. It takes place towards the end of the main game, kind of when John is kind of done his deeds, but he's not met his demise yet. And they're at home. It's all horrible out. You know, John's riding home after a day of doing whatever he's been doing. The wind's howling. There's a little like a dog running around that looks a bit weird. He gets home. He's chilling with the family, and Uncle's not home. And he's probably just out in a storm. You know, he's stuck in the storm. He's drunk in town, whatever. If he's not back in the morning, I'm gonna go look for him, says John. And then he comes back in to the house, and he's riled up because he's a zombie. And he attacks the family. John goes out and gets the shotgun and puts down old Uncle, that old bastard. And then Abigail and Jack are both infected, so he doesn't put them out. Not like poor Uncle. He hog-ties them. And he had, he's just like, fuck Uncle, I guess. Obviously, he was attacking the family, so I don't know. But yeah, he goes out to Blackwater to find a cure, and he's like, "You two, Jack, look after your mother. No biting," and all that sort of stuff. Goes out to Blackwater to try and find out what's happening. You get to Blackwater. You meet. Is his name Arthur? The first sort of character you meet in the street, and he's like really, really cheesy. Well, I'm just gonna run this way down this really scary, lonesome looking street, and obviously just gets eaten.
Yeah, that's the end of him very quickly. And John's just like, what's going on? He's like playing so dumb. Oh,
I've got his name written down. It's Harold McDougall. And he's one of the returning cast who all kind of have rewritten to react to the zombies in their own ways, but it very much feels like those characters. He goes out and gets munched. You meet some more people in Blackwater. And one thing I noticed throughout this game, where it's Rockstar being classic Rockstar with like their social commentaries, it's just the blame game. Like everyone's just like, it's blaming foreigners. There's one guy that you meet later on, a storekeeper in Armadillo, and he's talking about how the zombies is just this like he's very racist, talking about how it's a Jewish plot.
Yeah, I've got a note here that says the shopkeeper in Armadillo says, "Oh, hey, Pod," like Tommy Wiseau, then blames Jews for the zombies. Insane.
Yeah, he's like, the Jews killed Lincoln and all this sort of stuff. And they all do it. In Blackwater, you've got the family on top of the house saying we let too many foreigners in, and the zombies.
Yeah, it's the Mexicans and all this shit.
Yeah. And it's Rockstar always do that. Rockstar is a, they kind of, they retain it. They're like a social commentary studio of comedic but real social commentary. And it's, I don't know if this is something that people have like discussed or if one of the guys from Rockstar said about it, but it's one of the reasons that they did do a London back in the day, but we've not got a modern kind of GTA or game set in Britain, because they were a British team and they're kind of doing this over the top, super hyperbolic commentary on like crazy America, right?
Yeah, it's satirism. It's supposed to be out of this world, and it's supposed to be a bit crazy, but it's supposed to reflect, the social commentary, which is like, the satirism of it. Great.
You then travel from Blackwater to Seth, and Seth is being Seth. He has his friend, is it Moses? He's trying to play cards with Moses, and you're like, Seth, like, what's going on? Like, there's all these zombies, like, you must know something, like, Gravedigger. And he's just like, oh, come on, John. Like, it is what it is. People are rising up. You go do something about it. I'm here with Moses. And John's obviously kind of acting towards Seth as the way he does in the main game, just belittling him. And then Seth is like, get him, Moses. Eat John. Get him. And the zombie just stands there with his cards, just playing blackjack.
Yeah. Yes, that's funny.
So then he tells you to go and start cleaning out graveyards, right?
Yeah, he's the one that points you to doing that.
And you come back to him, and then he's having a bit of a jig with the zombies. One of them's playing a violin. and he's just like having a dance with all the zombies. And he tells you to go to
nice
Mexico.
Little party.
I believe he tells you to head towards Mexico. Did you leave those zombies alive? The party zombies?
Yeah, of course. They were just chilling.
I didn't. Then you make your way towards Mexico, where you meet Wes Dickens, who's doing his usual snake oil bullshit.
Yeah, he's doing a big like presentation in the middle of fort, whatever it's called, Fort Mercer, I think.
Yeah, Fort Mercer.
And he's got the whole crowd riled up, and he's saying this and that about his snake oil, like this is definitely a cure or whatever.
I think it's like a repellent or something. He says it is.
Oh, it's a repellent, right? Yeah. But then that ends up being, so you do a little quest for him, and he gets you to get ingredients, and that ends up being a bait, and that's your like bait tool for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So he ends up handing out all this repellent to people as a bait. It's very good.
Yeah. And then, if I remember correctly, he then gives you advice on how to go to Mexico. You go and you get the uniforms from the deserters, the military deserters. And this is one of the only times you get an option here. You can help them out, or you can just steal the uniform.
Yeah.
I helped them out, and then my game crashed and rolled back. So then I went and stole it.
Yeah, similar thing happened to me. I helped them out, but they wouldn't talk to me, so I just shot them in the face. It's okay.
Fair enough. And then you get on the train to Mexico that we discussed earlier. And then you kind of start coming into the close of the game. The Mexico bit isn't the longest section of the game. You meet some more characters from the main story. I can't remember his name, but he's like I think he's like the president or whatever. He's infected. I don't know if I'm telling this in the wrong order. You meet the nuns.
Yeah, you meet the nuns, and you learn from her that there is something going down in Mexico as well, and it wasn't as safe as everyone said. So you set out to find what was going on. Then you meet up with Landon, I think. Landon Ricketts.
Yeah, Landon Ricketts.
And he's like, oh, I don't know, but I heard something about something, and you should go check it out. So you go check out the big town, and they're like, oh yeah, the president's fucking gone mental.
That's it. That's the order it is. Yeah. And then through this, you start encountering a woman. And she is a little bit strange.
She's elusive. She doesn't want people to understand who she is or why she's there, you know. She hides her face.
Yeah. And she sends you off to an ancient site, which is where you get the cool music playing, right?
Yeah, it plays like a cool licensed song.
And then you go on to the final mission that you really liked.
Yeah, I loved it.
Where you're going through it's like this ancient site, catacomb type thing. And the zombies are all coming out of the walls, and you're blasting all the zombies.
Big long corridors. And it gives you the pumpy. Like right at the start of that.
Yeah.
No, it's not pumpy, it's a semi-auto. So you're just fucking blasting. It's great.
And then you get to kind of the end and the sort of reveal of where the zombies have come from, right? With the help of this mystical guide lady.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm missing something. It's alluding that she isn't like real, right? Or she's kind of like...
No, she introduces herself as the spirit.
That's it.
And she has a specific name. And she's like, if you put the magic mask, the jade mask, down on its plinth and say my name, curse will be like, lifted. Ooh. Yeah,
so you retrieve the jade mask and you put it back on the plinth, and the curse is lifted, and everyone is saved from the zombies. You then get a little bit of a time skip, and John is dead after the events of the main game. And someone's mucky little fingers finds the mask again. Seth finds the mask again and takes the mask. And then John comes up from his grave as Zombie John, and you get Death, that he's the rider on the pale horse named Death.
Yeah.
And that's
cool zombie outfit.
Yeah, and then that's where the game, it kind of stops. You can free roam, you can do challenges and stuff, but no more story.
I had a great time with the story. Like, just the story itself, forgetting all my complaints so far. I thought it was great. It was just doing its thing. It was obviously lacking. I've got loads more complaints to make about the story. It's probably where most of my complaints are. But it was great fun. I thought it did exactly what it needed to, and the characters were really interesting, and they were used like pretty well most of the time. The ending was nearly satisfying, but I have something to say about that. I have a theory.
Okay.
Yeah. And otherwise, yeah, I just thought it's great. Like the production quality from this team is fantastic, and I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah, before we get on to like what we could have done with the story and dissecting it, you mentioned like the cast, and we said about it in the voice acting. I think they're all so good, and they're all adapted as, you know, they feel like their character, but they're adapted to this new situation. Like with Wes Dickens, he's still trying to sell snake oil.
But like in a new desperate situation where it's not just like thugs looking.
And he's
out
showing
him,
how
like,
scared he is. Like you find him like hiding under a horse-drawn carriage, and you gotta help him. And John's like he's on top of it. Actually, he's on top of it, and one of the big zombies is trying to reach at him, and John's just like laughing at him. And you know, Seth is conniving. Landon Ricketts is just cool. One thing, when you meet Landon Ricketts, there's like a woman of the night zombie, and she gets like a patron come up to her, and they go off.
It's like one of the big bruiser zombies.
Yeah,
and they're like, and they
yeah, you know, and obviously they're doing it as a joke. But what's this saying about the zombies? Are they more sentient?
Hey, man.
But yeah, all the characters are awesome. They all feel like those same characters you met in the main game.
Yeah.
But they're in a zombie apocalypse.
And then a lot of the side characters, like that racist shopkeeper, like even his voice acting was like incredible, like really memorable. I can hear his voice in my head, unfortunately. Most of the various characters you run into, like the voice actors were clearly doing their best and having a good day of it too, because everybody sounds great. There's nothing that sounds out of place or lackluster. It's great.
I agree. What did you think about the theme of the story and the way they chose for the story to tell the story it told, compared to some of the more horror themes that the game does present here and there? Do you think it kind of conveyed emotion well, or did you think it was like just a kind of means to an end to get you to just travel through the game?
It's hard to say. I think I was left wanting a lot more. Like I've mentioned over and over again so far, the lack of cinematic moments was like quite startling. In a way, I was expecting there to be a lot more set pieces and a lot more like world triggers and stuff to pull you into little cinematics, like running into people on the road and stuff. That was fine, but generally, like each mission, the way it played and stuff, it more felt like it was driving along a very similar beat the whole way, pretty much. Like, and it was fun to see things get teased. Like it does mention like the full moon a lot, and the fact that there's a weird moon, and there was a rumors of like a jade mask or like some ancient mask artifact that had been unearthed down south, things like that. Like, so it is teased, but at the same time, it's like the story beat is I need to find a cure for my family. It's not here. Better check somewhere else.
Yeah, it is.
And I just found that a little bit like, you know, it's annoying. Because at the end of the day, like, there's so much you can do even with that simple premise.
Yeah, I agree. And not much of this, I think back to what I thought about it, playing it originally and playing it again. Not a lot of it was in my head playing it again. I weren't remembering a lot of the plot points. The things I remembered were the Sasquatch mission, Seth taking the Jade Mask again, and that kind of being the plot driver, but the moment-to-moment story beats, it's not something that sticks out, and playing it again now, it's not something going to stick out. Kind of, you get the really high point at the start of the narrator, you get a couple moments in the middle, meeting Seth is funny, the train, and then you get the ending. But it's not.
What do you think happened with the narrator?
I really don't know. Like, maybe they just genuinely thought, oh, we'll just have the narrator to do an intro and that'll be fine.
It just seems so, like, out of place.
Well, yeah, but
it was a good fit.
Literally one of the first notes I wrote down whilst playing it was, oh, this is a good narrator.
Because I can see so many different places, like, literally pretty much every single mission you do. And, like, you know, almost like as a validation of your actions as well. Like, instead of just a text box and the nice, like, down when you fucking get a mission complete thing.
Yeah.
But, like, having that narrator chime in and sort of, like, update the story so far.
100%
Like, it would have
agree.
really helped the pacing as well, like, just validating where you're up to. Especially with that Vincent Price type voice.
And we'll just add, like, good comedy. You can just see it happening, right? Like, after you meet Seth, he just, you know, cuts in and says, oh, well, you need to go clear these graveyards, and then just does, like, a little commentary on how weird Seth is.
Did you find it funny, like, most of the way through? Like, the game, the writing,
Yeah.
the way it was, like, set-pieced and things like that?
Yeah, that's what they did with this. They, if the story was gonna be put into any sort of category, it's comedy, right?
Yeah, sure, it is, surely. It's not taking itself seriously. The gameplay is, like, taken seriously enough to be, like, coherent and fun.
Yeah, the only time I felt that there was seriousness was some of those random world events.
Okay. Like the one with the double killing, yeah.
Yeah.
That one's pretty bad. I'm trying to think of any other ones. There's a couple of ones where there was a couple of dudes who were holed up behind some boxes trying to fight their way out, and I sort of saved them. They just gave me ammo. But it was nice, you know. They'd be like, hey, thanks so much, Gringo. You're the best, mate. I'd be like, yeah, man. Thank you so much, guys. Glad you're alive.
They give you like 3 shotgun shells.
Yeah, man. That's fine by me. What a couple of dudes. It's all about keeping together out there, man.
Yeah.
I liked it. John's kind of nice throughout it as well.
Yeah, well, it is set towards the end of the kind of main story where he kind of becomes a bit of a better person. It's his redemption.
Yeah, it feels
obviously,
like that.
Obviously, the main game just writes this kind of epic tale, like emotional tale, you know, and, you know, especially with the ending of Red Dead 1, it kind of throws it all back in John's face. It's such a standout story, and that's what Red Dead is loved for, right? Its story is the main thing. Red Dead 2 obviously throws a lot in terms of like gameplay, and a big thing people talk about is like the density of the world and the detail. But people come back to that story, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
There's videos of people crying after playing Red Dead 2 all over the internet for a reason, right?
I mean, I ain't seen them, but I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, they're definitely out there.
I'm a tough guy, you know. I wouldn't cry at something like that. I've definitely cried over like 1,000 games.
Yeah.
I cry at like animated shorts, man.
Oh man, I get a tear in my eye every time I hear the Outer Wilds guitar. So,
oh god, the ending. Don't.
I really want to.
That would be a great. You got to try and do that one with someone.
That's not played it. I know that'll be a weird one. Only a game you can play once. Anyway, it's not an Outer Wilds podcast. Yeah, I don't really have too much more to say about the story. It's kind of a means to an end. It does the Rockstar things. It's funny. It does social commentaries. It's absurd. Voice acting's great. The cast are amazing. But it's not memorable story.
Yeah.
Not like the main games, 1 and 2.
Yeah. I think that if with a little bit more enrichment and with a little bit better pacing, and like with things like the suggestions we made with the 4 Horsemen, the only reason I said that was because it feels like they wanted that. It feels like they were halfway to getting that. You know, and these little cinematic in-bits, like, it comes to a point where I can see there being another vision, and I have a theory. I want to get onto this theory, because it's only quick as well.
Yeah, no, go for it.
So, right at the start of the game, when you come into the house, you sit down, and Jack's reading a book, and he starts telling a story, and you sort of like, this music plays, and you sort of like trail off. Did you catch that?
Right, yeah, he tells a story about, he's reading a story about like beasts and...
The beasts and the full moon.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
John comments
John
on it,
like trails off, and it like plays this like spooky music, and you can see out the window. And I think that they missed the trigger there. I think like Uncle was supposed to walk past the window or something, but it doesn't happen. And I think that was a mistake. So let's assume that Uncle was meant to walk past the window, and then you kind of like snap to, and you start the game, right?
Right.
So then at the end, in the final mission, the girl, she tells you, she like says all this, she's like narrating to you the whole time you're going through these tunnels or whatever. A lot of what she says is like, think of your family and stuff. And it made me think about that moment at the start. And I was so sure that the story would go that you put the mask down and she's like, thank you, John. And then you go home and wake up your family, and then you like go to bed at night, and something like uncle like comes and like bites your head off, and then you go, whoa, and you jump, and you're back in the room. Like John fell asleep and the whole thing's a dream. Yeah,
it kind of makes sense because it's Undead Nightmare. I mean, it kind of alludes to it potentially being a dream, right?
It does. It alludes to it, and then it never does it. And like, and that's why I'm thinking like they dropped the narrator off, and if the narrator kept through, and they kept a bit more cinematic enrichment, and then they kept that ending, and then it was like, you know, the next, you know, you wake up or whatever, and you're in the house, and it's like, oh, do you want to go to? You should probably go to bed because you fell asleep, or whatever. It's been a hard day, you know, because technically at the start you've just come in from the rain. So you wake up from your nightmare and it's like, oh, go to bed. And then you go to bed and then you wake up as Zombie John. And then you can do the after game thing, right?
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
So I don't know. I thought I was genuinely sure that is exactly what they wanted to do, or like they had planned to do it, because it seems like they just half wrote that in and then they left it.
Yeah, it'd be cool to know. But I think in general, it's the stories like the. I was going to talk about how I always, in everything that I like, just yearn to know all the lore, but this isn't the appropriate place to have that. We don't need to know the actual mechanism of the infection and all that sort of stuff. I think
for sure.
It's contained in like a nice under 10-hour package.
Yeah.
But it's not that strong of a story, and considering the quality that Rockstar had been writing up to that point with, you know, the more recent ones with GTA 4 and the main game for Red Dead, it did fall, you know, it wasn't strong. It's not really memorable. The memorable points are just like the little quips and funny bits, like Seth stealing the mask again.
Yeah.
There
were some excellent moments. It's hard to call a lot of them back. I would say that overall, I had a very good time. I'd suggest to anyone to beat the game.
Oh, 100%. It's not like oh my god, I hate this story. It's just not a grandiose, great story, but the characters are so good that it's worth sitting and listening to.
Yeah, definitely. Most of the missions I had a really good time. Pretty much all the cutscenes were pretty great. Oh, there's that guy that makes films as well.
Oh,
yeah. He asks you to find you specific types of zombie to make a film, and that goes as planned.
Yeah, they just get up and eat.
It's really good fun. Like, I think if you haven't played it, like, you definitely should.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Red Dead, you'll be a fan of this.
Yeah, because I had a good time. I'm glad that you suggested it, and I'm glad I got to go back to it, having missed it all these years ago.
I'm glad I got to replay it because, like I said, I had such fond memories of it. It was just, you know, a big formative era of games for everyone, but for me, obviously, with the age I was. And it's still, you know, after replaying it, I'm like, yeah, it's great. One of the, you know,
Absolutely.
One of the better DLCs of all time, really.
Thinking about it as a DLC as well, a lot of the complaints that have been made, like, I would not expect more than what it is from any DLC released.
Yeah, 100%.
Any time today. Like, it's rare that you find DLCs that are that rich.
For sure. A lot of the complaints we've been making are kind of just in an ideal world stuff. But considering it was a 2010 DLC that I presume sold for around £15, $25, around that, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you get your money.
Yeah, you do, actually. I thought it was really good fun. Especially if you haven't played Red Dead in a while. Like me, it was really good fun to just drop into a world like that. Do you think that there's a market for more zombie cowboy games that have like a sandbox sort of vibe, story-driven vibe?
I don't know. You know, kind of looking into that sort of like, you know, what did we think of the future of Undead Nightmare and all that sort of stuff, and I don't think there's a market for them specifically, the genre of game, but Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare 2. Why is it not a thing? I don't know I mean, I can guess what happened at Rockstar and why they stopped making single player DLCs, right? Because GTA had them, GTA 4, and this is a good one. I've not actually played them. I know about them, and I know how great they are. I've not actually played them. But I know you got Ballad of Gay Tony, and you got The Lost and Damned, and obviously Undead Nightmare. They had critical success, right? I know that people say about like Ballad of Gay Tony, it's like one of the best parts of GTA 4.
Ballad of Gay Tony was great.
People look back at Undead Nightmare and love Undead Nightmare. It's spoken about all the time, especially in like my kind of friend circles. Everyone looks back on it fondly. No one has bad things to say about it. And then you hit GTA 5 and they never do one. And it's got to be because of the money they were making from online, right?
Yeah, well, also the development pressure too, because, you know, they were constantly having to chuck out this stuff and to launch it into online servers as well seamlessly. You know, that's like a whole different thing. That's like twice the work. So I get it. Like they were pumping a lot of resource into getting this development, this constant development for the last 12 years. The GTA Online, especially for the fact that it's multi-platform as well.
Yeah.
But it goes back to the thing, like, why take the risk? There's literally no point of them siphoning off like $100 million to make another DLC for a game that's already 10 years old.
I feel that, and it's
just not going to happen.
I can see it more for GTA 5, but Red Dead 2.
But for Red Dead 2, I kind of see your point.
The online stinked. In my opinion, I mean, I only played it on release. I don't know if they added much more, but there was nothing like it didn't have the features that GTA Online had. Right? It was basically just
it was like
open world
Red Dead 1 Online.
Yeah. So
pretty much exactly
playing that when it came out, I was like, oh, like they're probably going to do something, right? They're probably going to do a DLC. That's why this isn't as big. Never did. I guess they just moved on to GTA 6.
What are they going to do? I mean, I get it. It would be really cool to see another Undead Nightmare, like Undead Nightmare 2. But
Nightmare, but
the reason why they did Undead Nightmare though was because of a zombie.
It was
like trend, you know, like that was the only reason it like happened. I'm sure of it.
It was, and you know, maybe they don't have to do an Undead Nightmare 2, but I feel like this being the last Rockstar DLC, I think it's pretty tragic, to be honest. You know, you could talk about what they could do with Undead Nightmare 2 and have it as Arthur's dream this time. But just, you know, with the way that the world of Red Dead 2 is so good and so fleshed out, it would work so much opportunity to have cool stuff. Go further into the myths and the legends in Red Dead 2. You know, mythical animals, characters.
Absolutely.
I'm sure if you speak to any Red Dead fan and say, if Red Dead 2 had an Undead Nightmare DLC and it was about £15, would you buy it? They're probably going to say yes, right?
Yeah, I mean, literally. And I mean, can you imagine a world where there was big, tall, you know, vampire gargoyle things that flew around the hills that could actually fly down and grab you and your horse? And like all of the swamps had all these floating ghosts that could like grab you and shit, and you know, like really varied creatures, and there was werewolves and like fucking, you know, what Red Dead 2's got, but Undead Nightmare.
Red Dead 2 had some really weird, spooky stuff as well, right? With like the serial killer mystery and like the woman of the swamp and
the maybe devil man.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe they kind of, you know, the Rockstar always loving the myths and stuff. They kind of just channeled it into the main game and got onto GTA 6 development. Don't know.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's the risk thing. Fuck it.
Just obviously, as you know, as a Rockstar fan, as a Red Dead fan, and as an Undead Nightmare fan, I wish it happened.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you suggested this game for sure, because again, it was so good to jump into it. So I can't disagree. Seeing another game would be fantastic. But like you said, you know, is there a market for a zombie cowboy game?
I don't think so. Not as, you know, another studio just goes, oh, we're doing a zombie cowboy game.
I mean, the one that springs to mind is the Hunt Showdown.
Yeah, but it's different.
That's doing such a different thing.
Not the same.
It's a cool world. I wouldn't mind seeing that kind of world with like a single player, sort of similar to Metro Exodus or something.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Yeah, I think if anyone's going to do the cowboy zombies, it's got to be Rockstar, right?
Yeah, they're pretty good at doing cowboys.
Would you recommend it as a hopping on point for Red Dead Redemption as well?
Yes.
Yep.
I'd say it's a really good place to start for any kind of rookie. It could be your first game. And you can play Undead Nightmare.
It's a real game. You know what I mean? It does the tropes.
I'd give this to like a kid. I'd give this to like a 10-year-old that hasn't played Xbox before. For sure, as like their first game. Like Undead Nightmare is really good because it's so simple, but it's also confusing enough to like keep them going for like a year and teach them everything they need to know about games.
It does the game tropes. It kind of just plays that way. It's a real game.
And if you do know games, it's a great story. Like I know we've had a lot to say about it, but that's kind of like from being left wanting, and that's not always the worst place to be when you've experienced something. It means that you at least liked it enough to want more. That's kind of where I'm at with this game. So if you're into games, I'd say, yeah, definitely play it. Beat this game. In fact, don't just play it. Like finish it. It's great.
Yeah, 100%. And then looking back at it as like kind of a veteran, and I know I asked you in the other episode we recorded, would you see yourself replaying it again? And obviously this is my first replay of it, and I'm not dying to go back because there's not that much to see. There's no new things to see. There's no variation, but I can see myself one day just wanting to experience it again. It's only short. There's a reason I bought it up for this. I had fond memories of it. And
what I would say, sorry to jump on, but if you haven't played Red Dead 1 or 2, I'd say play Undead Nightmare and then play Red Dead 2.
The only thing is, it kind of, it would potentially, no, it doesn't really spoil the main plot of Red Dead 1. Obviously,
it doesn't at all.
John being dead at the end, but everyone's going to die one day.
It really doesn't at all.
Yeah. Everyone dies one day, so it doesn't really spoil it. So yeah, you could literally just jump on this.
Like as a gameplay experience, I think that is a really good way of doing it because right now, like what you just said, like would I play this again? I'm glad that you would maybe jump on it again, but for me, I'm left like so wanting to jump back onto Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
After playing that, like it really has gatewayed me into that. So it definitely speaks to Rockstar's achievements for these games, like as a series as well as like independently.
Yeah, I'm due a Red Dead replay. I only played it on PS4 when it first came out, so I'd like to do a PC playthrough.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
your PC's beast as well.
Yeah, it would look nice. But yeah, maybe one day I'll come back to Undead Nightmare. It'll be one of those games where it's just like, we're being nostalgic with some friends and we talk about it, and we just end up, you end up giving it a little run. You can literally sit there and play it in one playthrough, like one day.
Yeah, man.
So then my other question that I forgot to ask you at the start, but I'll ask you now, is just about just games in general. Is anything catching your eye? Anything you're looking forward to? Anything you've been playing, really enjoying?
God, you asked me this on the last episode we recorded, and I'm just such a fart at the moment for games. I was replaying Metro Exodus. I jumped back on that, and that was great fun. It's been really fun playing that game. I really fell out with it when I first played it. I didn't get along with it at all. But jumping back after some time has really helped me get back into it. I feel like I can only do that game in like short stints. Other than that, looking forward to games, I don't know. Put on the spot, I can never remember anything like that. I always have like a bunch of like indie games I'm looking forward to seeing, but we'll see. Have you got anything that you're big onto at the minute, or like waiting for, like it's just around the corner?
Between speaking last, I finished Resident Evil Requiem, which was a banger. Big banger. I am playing Silent Hill 4 for the first time for the podcast.
Yes, that sounds cool. I'm really excited to see this episode.
It's a weird one. Definitely a weird one. And then I've got so many games in my backlog that I want to play, and I kind of want to not jump into them because a lot of them would be great episodes. And then I also need to get round to playing some recent releases and games that are coming out or have come out that I'm going to have to try and find the time for as well. One that's on my radar that came out recently was like Pragmata. That looks really good.
Oh, yeah.
Capcom are smashing it. I've heard nothing but good things, really.
It's like a good story.
coming up as well, there's all the press releases have just come out. G-Man Lives just released a video for Saros, made by the guys that made Returnal. It's their next game.
Oh, yeah.
Looks really fun. It's like
third-person
Doom bullet hell type game.
Cool.
And then again, like Crimson Desert came out. That looks like something I want to give a go. And then there's a lot more games coming out over the next year. Too many to reel off the top of my head. I think Silent Hill Townfall's this year. We just had the new Metro announced for this year. There's loads, and the backlog is just going to grow and grow and grow.
The new Metro looks really good. I've got 2 major indie games, which people have probably heard about already, which I've been watching for 2 years now. One of them is Sword Hero. Looks unbelievable if it ever comes out. Totally my kind of bag. And the other is Beta Decay, which just looks like one of the best games I've ever seen in my life.
We're both big hyped.
Totally my speed. Yeah, you're into this kind of stuff, man. It looks fun. It looks like you can do basically anything. It's like an immersive sim that's based around, like high stakes combat set in a future post-apocalyptic world. Fun.
Yeah, it just mashes up a lot of what we like. Stalker, Escape from Tarkov,
Deus Ex, all kinds of shit.
Spooky kind of sci-fi
mechs
dread
in it. I like mechs, kind of like in a small burst. I'll do a mech.
Yeah, it depends on the mech for me.
Sword Hero looks amazing though. Another immersive sim, but it's like an open world RPG.
Right.
It just looks like it has like really complex systems, but it's a solo dev, so who knows if it'll ever come out. It looks really well put together already, and there's a demo.
Okay, I don't think I've seen this one.
Oh, I think you'd be into this one as well, to be fair. Check out Sword Hero. It might even be a placeholder name, who knows? But it looks really good. It looks like it's going to have a story at some point, and complex enemies, and complex damage systems, and all kinds of interaction with physics. And yeah, looks good. I'm really excited for that one.
Sweet. Well, I think that brings us to the end. Thanks for doing this episode with me. Good game.
Mate,
good fun.
What a banger.
Yeah.
Yeehaw. I haven't said a single cowboy joke this whole time.
Go on.
No, I ain't got one ready.
Alright, well,
doesn't matter.
give us a nice yeehaw then, I guess.
Yeehaw!
Nice one. Well, thanks, dude. Have you got anything that you'd like to plug at all?
No, not at the moment, Louis. I'm not plugging at the moment.
Fair enough. No more plugging.
No, not for now. We're working on something in the background.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for listening. If you want to give any comments, leave comments where you can, and look out for other episodes that are coming out. Thank you.
Cheers, Louis.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.